Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? Happy Thursday, last trading day of the week. Hope everyone's doing good. Let's see who's here. Good morning, John. Good morning, Sterling. Good morning, Patrick. Good morning, Jake. It has been a yo-yo. I don't think the yo-yo-ness is going to stop anytime soon. You're just sitting on your hands? Well, probably a wise thing to do, especially in the short term. Good morning, Royal Palms. Thank you for putting in some earnings, Sterling. We had CSX, which was a miss. I remember I really perk up when we miss on revenue. It's like, uh-oh. Alcoa was a miss on revenue again. Kinder Morgan was a beat. TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor, was a beat. Not surprising there. UNH was a miss and a huge miss. It's down very big this morning. Very big after its recent run up. American Express was a beat. Again, thank you. Yes, healthcare got hit. UNH got destroyed on its earnings. Schwab was a beat. Good morning, Jacob. That's pretty good there. Besides DH Horton was a miss. Yeah, thank Royal Palm Trump clearly not happy with Powell. Have you ever seen this between the Fed and the president? No, but I mean, Trump wants to set all policies. So, he doesn't want an independent Fed. He wants the Fed to do what he wants it to do. Good morning, Legion Reaver. Thank you for tuning in. All right. Alrighty. Remember, April OPEX today. Normally it would be tomorrow. Tomorrow is Good Friday, so April OPEX is today. So it's the OPEX today. So what would normally be tomorrow? And remember, tomorrow, Good Friday, everything's closed. There's your futures. Everything's closed. Things close today at the normal time for the things we pretty much follow. But tomorrow, everything's closed and the New York Stock Exchange is closed. So guess what? There won't be a live stream tomorrow. But, so this is the final trading day of the week. Now, good morning, Options 22. So, we had building permits come out. Not really anything shocking with that. Initial jobless claims coming in better than expected. Continuing jobless claims coming in a little higher. So, jobless claims were mixed. Philly Fed Manufacturing Index falling off a cliff. Expected to be 2. Still positive, coming in at minus 26. This is interesting. New orders plummeting, minus 34. Prices paid still rising. So that's very interesting right there. What else do we have today, though? We have some bill auctions. We have Barr speaking. We have the mortgage rates, and we have the rig counts, which would normally be tomorrow, but they're today because tomorrow is Good Friday. Tomorrow, we have, can't the Fed take a day off from speaking? Hello, Charles. Can't we just have a day off? Yeah, Powell, I thought it's interesting. Powell's termination, not his term end. His termination, are we now going to terminate him? Are we going to test that with the courts? Who installed Powell, by the way? Just wondering. Who put Powell in place? Who nominated Powell and got him? Who was that? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, Trump wants lower interest rates because he also thinks it's going to lower a lot of other stuff. But you know what? Oh boy. So, and I personally don't like the Fed. Don't want the Fed, but I don't want the president setting interest rates either. I want the markets to set interest rates. I want an interest rate rule. Okay? And then you'd still need some kind of agency to manage liquidity issues. But that should not be managed also by the president. All right, what else do we have today? S&P so far, there's your healthcare. A lot of this is down based off UNH. UNH down 18% for healthcare plans. But with healthcare overall, you have Lilly up 12.5%. So right there. Everything else, you got mega caps pretty much mixed. Slightly green on the day. Your groups, let's just do a quick little refresh. Healthcare, again, down, but everything else is up for today. Fed Watch has Pause still priced in for May. Remember that meeting is in 20 days. Pause still priced in for May. Cut in June, cut in July, cut in October, and cut in December. So 4 cuts, even though Powell pushed against that narrative yesterday pretty substantially. Fear and greed, still an extreme fear. Schiller PE ratio, still 32.62 area, so still even above 30. We had the net earnings. Sorry about the dog barking. We have Netflix after the close. So that's going to be the biggie after the close, but we'll have to see how the market reacts on Sunday night. Good morning, Anissa. What else is that? What else do we have here? ZT close to a double 4 hour double. What is double 4 hour double? Thank you. Obama, then Trump renominated. I don't know why Trump renominated him if he doesn't like him that much. But, you know, I think Trump just wants everybody to do what Trump wants them to do. You're saying House of Cards. Well, we shall see, won't we? All right, yesterday. Powell speaking, and also you had, you know, oh boy, the Netflix also, I mean, not Netflix, NVIDIA warning on stuff because there's more chip restrictions. So we broke down to that key area, 5270 area. We spiked just below it and closed above it. Remember, that's why I said I was watching that on a closing basis. But we've now returned to the rotation zone, which crossed the other way. This is a 4 hour. So again, this is very, very key support to 5270 area on a closing basis. I do not mind things that spike below. If you're looking for the spikes, it's around 5250. All right, if you're looking on a closing basis, it's 5270. We start getting through there. If we do break down, my target then is the 5180 area. And then if we continue lower, it's 5093. So roughly 5100 because I would not be at 5093. 5093 is what, on a closing basis, if we would invalidate the double. That only hit the first target so far. Also remember the 4 hour rotation zone clearly holding. So does that mean the double's invalidated? No, it's not. We could technically even pull back to this 5150 area. 5180 area, and still the double could be in play. We do still have daily cycles headed down. To the upside today, there's some pretty substantial resistance about 5385 and then 5416, which we tried to spike above on yesterday and then was rejected. So, oh, that's interesting, Sterling. I didn't see that. That's why Lily's up so big. All right. All right. Thank you for that information. So that's where we sit. That's exactly what I'm watching again. Would not overdo it with OPEX and the final trading day of the week. And we still have to see what's going to come out from the ever-evolving tariff saga. Because there's wonderful meetings going on. We had wonderful meetings with Japan. So we shall see. But support now that I'm looking at, I bumped this level down just a bit. I'm looking at about 18,200 for the NASDAQ. We spiked just below it yesterday, but closed above it. That's what I'm watching on a closing basis. If you want to be a little more aggressive, it would be 18,300. But that's the zone between 18.2 and 18.3. I'm really watching for key support if we roll down. Again, coming back to the first cross on the 4 hour rotation zone and rotating down so far. That's the key support I'm watching. If we get through there, then the major support level is still this 17,950 area. 17,925 to 17,950 if we did have a bigger breakdown play. The point that invalidates the remaining double is a close below 17,568. All right, the key level that we have to get through to, for me at least, to return to short-term bullish mode is around 18,720. We have to take out that and close above that level. So, horrible price action thanks to Trump. Well, Trump's not helping the price action, definitely. And Coco, you sauld yesterday as I was logging off, as I was already hit the exit button, I saw your comment pop up that said oil's going to zero. Oil not going to zero, Coco. Just responding to that. Overall, with the NASDAQ, rotation zone still holding. Rotation zone still holding. So, and daily cycles still headed down. So we could see some more downward pressure, but again, the double does not have to get invalidated even on a little bit more pullback. We'll have to see. Now Dow, on the other hand, which is again, this pullback is not invalidating. Dow's down because of UNH. UNH makes up 9% of the Dow. So, going to be keeping an eye on that. Very key support in the Dow coming in about 38,900, 38,900 to 38,925. The invalidation point for the doubles, 38,370. The Dow's got a lot of heavy lifting to do, so I'm really watching to see how it reacts over the next little bit of time frame to see if it can get back above this 39,550 area. Russell not doing anything. Look at this. Look at these bars. Not doing anything. So, for the bigger picture, the breakdown zone right now is 1842. The breakout zone is above 1891. VIX still staying above that 30 area. So we're going to be watching after options expiration how this reacts. The DAX, not much to talk about here. Still on the sloppy double, still not hitting the first target, and the rotation zone also still holding. Notes. We'll be paying more attention to this again next week. There's not a lot of good setups today. So I'm not really worried about it because tomorrow's Good Friday. You know? Not worried about it. We'll reevaluate Sunday night. Sometimes it's best to just sit on your hands or sit the day out the market and manage the longer term positions. Like if you front run those double bottoms, all it is, because those are on the larger time frame, all it is managing the position. So that's where we sit. The yields, again, we've had a pullback, not yet triggered its double top. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Dollar index, we'll be watching this going into next week. Now, this may not ever trigger, but we do have a daily double now. Still against the rotation zone, but a daily double. If the dollar continues to break down, your next minor target is 98. The next major target is 97.30 area. But I'm going to be keeping a close eye on that. Crude trying to edge up. Again, on any bounce, I'm watching the other side of the rotation zone. Not fantastic setups besides possibly a short-term breakout play. But that's very short. That's like on the intraday charts. There's no great daily or 4-hour setups. Gold coming up to the next harmonic cluster we talked about yesterday, 3374 roughly. Spiking right up there and pausing. Now, not saying gold can't go higher, but this is getting into vertical takeoff territory. All right? It can, and look at it on the monthly. There you go. If you didn't know this was a gold chart and you just thought this was a stock chart, it'd be like, uh-oh. So that's all I'm saying. Depending on your time frame, know where your stops are. Know where your stops are. By the way, if it blows through to 33.79, next major target is 35.46 area. But we're getting possibly a triple divergence up here, or even a quad divergence. 1, 2, 3, 4. So waning momentum on each substantial push higher. So I at least know from my perspective where key stop levels are. Copper, we have a little mini 4-hour double top. Copper spiking through. Again, the first target, but not yet hitting that second target, coming back. So I'm just keeping an eye on that. Would that invalidate the double? No, it would not. It would only pull back to the 50% harmonic from the run up, but I'm keeping an eye on that in the short term. Or instead, hold on, I might be wrong. It might be off the table now. Yes, it is. I am incorrect. I misspoke. That double is now off the table. I thought that looked a little strange because that spike up. See how it spiked through to this 472 level? So this is off the table. There is no more potential little mini double top. So overall, if you've been following the copper, it's it's raising the stop as it continues to just try to grind higher. But even on a pullback, even though there's not a double, if it pulled back to that 50% level, it would still not invalidate it, and that's where the 200 is. The yen just stalling out here at the 87.5. I'm really thinking something might shock the markets and we might get some dollar strength coming in, but like that's why I'm watching the double bottom, but without a trigger, there's nothing for me. Euro, this is not a double top yet. Spiders, again, pretty much the same analysis as the S&P. We're gapping up on any rollover play. It would be yesterday's close at 525.66. Really on the support basis, I'm watching 520. If we take out 520, the 50% harmonics at 514. Okay. The little key area for this, little key area, is got to start forming a base above 531 and hold that for support before I can get short-term bullish on the spiders. The Qs, same story here. Qs are a little sloppier due to the volatility, but I'm watching on a closing basis 442, 441.80 to 442. If we do start breaking through, there's 435.16. Any rollover play today would be to 444.21 would be my first level. On the Qs, we have to now sustain above 452 before I can get short-term overly bullish because that's key resistance. Bitcoin, still selling pressure on every spike. We did hit the second target on the little mini double. Other than that, just moving sideways. Lots of stuff are waiting for the next key thing. NVIDIA, by the way, is keeping a very close eye on this. 4-hour double confirmed, but no official trigger. It bounced back. I will be watching that today to see if this triggers, because that could put some more downward pressure based off NVIDIA's large component in the S&P and NASDAQ. So, keeping a close eye on that, but it did not trigger yesterday. By the way, Broadcom did not confirm and therefore did not trigger. Didn't even confirm. If Broadcom rallies back up, it could turn into a triple top and take that out of play. Good morning, Heinrich. So that's another couple things I'm keeping a close eye on. UNH, there's a gap for you. There's a gap. So the run up again, and then the kaboom. So not a great setup in there, and still overall in a huge trading range. Good morning, PMG. So, good. Hey, dark screen sleep, gold, and a 1-hour ascending triangle. What else? That's about it for today. Again, just don't do anything silly. Don't do anything silly based off OPEX. With that, there's not much else I have to comment on. Not much else. I told you exactly what I was keeping an eye on and the key levels I'm watching. And just remember throughout the day, it is options expiration, so we can get a little interesting price action, but at least that will be out of the way for the futures open on Sunday night. With that, I shall talk to everyone next week. No live stream tomorrow. No live stream tomorrow, so everybody enjoy the morning, and I will see you all again next week. Bye for now.